Hello all and welcome to another video tutorial, this time on how to create a really simple temporal map with the Living Atlas Wayback Imagery app. So this video tutorial will quickly take us through how to create a temporal map, or essentially a temporal slideshow, using historical satellite imagery. We'll also take it a step further and I'll show you how you can embed this temporal map into a story map for assessment tasks. So let's jump into it. So in order to get started, we're going to head to Google, type in World Imagery Wayback App, and it's the first option that appears in the search list. So we're after World Imagery Wayback Living Atlas. We're going to click on that, and it's going to open the Wayback app for us. Now it's very US centric. We're currently somewhere in the United States, and you can see that the dating system of all the imagery layers is year, month, day. So we just need to be aware of that when we are working with our layers. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go to somewhere in Australia. Let's choose Coolangatta on the Gold Coast. And we can see that it's popped up on the map. Now we can zoom out or zoom in depending on our area of interest. But I'm just going to leave it as that, and we're going to work through this process of essentially building our temporal map from the ground up. So the first thing I need to do is I need to select the layers of interest to me. So down our left-hand side, we have historical data, so historical satellite imagery. It goes from 2021 all the way through to 2014. So if I'm thinking about wanting to look at land cover change or land use change over the years, I might grab a satellite imagery layer from each year. So let's go with 2021 June. We're just going to go through and grab all the June layers. So 2020 June, 2019 June, there's two, so you just need to make decisions. And if I was spending a bit more time, I might be a little bit more critical about what period of June I want. 2018 June, 2017 June, a couple more years to go. 2016 June, 2015 June, and last but not least, 2014 June. And you can see that as I add these down the side, the little cloud icon, all I've been doing is hitting the cloud icon, and it changes from a plus to a tick. You can see that those 8 layers that I've added for the 8 years has appeared on our left-hand side. I can clear all if I make a mistake. So if I accidentally choose one I don't like, I can clear them all, or I can simply click on the button again, and it will untick that as an option. Once I've chosen all my layers, I'm going to click on this button, which is opening these versions in a new web map. And I've already signed in to my ArcGIS Online account in another tab, but if you haven't signed in, it will prompt you to sign in. And then I'm just going to allow the Wayback app to access my ArcGIS Online account. I'm going to change the title, so Coolangatta land cover / use change. You might add some tags, temporal map. I'm just going to leave the description as is today, and I'm going to create my Wayback map. But if we're getting our students to create it, we might ensure that they're a little bit more specific about their description that they're using. I'm going to open the Wayback map, which is going to open it in my ArcGIS Online account. And we can see that it is here. Now, I'm just going to open it in Map Viewer Classic. It doesn't matter if you open it in the new map viewer, but I'm just going to open it in Map Viewer Classic. And the first thing I want to do is I want to untick or make sure all of my my feature layers, my imagery layers, are unticked. So you can see I've got quite a lot. The world imagery layer is the satellite imagery, and then the metadata is information about that satellite imagery. So I'm going to leave them all unticked. Whoops. I'm going to go back into Coolangatta and make sure I'm happy with my map extent, and I'm going to hit save. Now once I've saved it, all I'm doing is going up to the top right corner and clicking create presentation. Might take a couple of moments to open, but again, it's really important that your layers have all been turned off in your map for this next step. So in here, we're going to create our temporal map. And really, it's going to be a collection of slides of different map layers that change every 3 to 5 seconds. So what we're going to do is we're going to click add. We're gonna set a title, so 2014, actually we'll go June 2014 as a title, which will appear on our presentation. And we're gonna click on the world imagery layer 2014, as you can see there. And then I'm just gonna hit add again. June 2015 this time, and select that layer. I'm going to work through that. Now, once you've gone through and added all of your layers and added titles for them, you can click on the slide list and check that you're happy with all of those. So I can see that I've got 2014 through to 2021, and I haven't missed a day, a year or a imagery layer. But if I wanted to double check everything, I could go back into the edit tool by clicking on the pencil and just double check that I'm happy with what's being shown. So I'll return to the slide list, and I can also do a visual check by turning off the other layers as well, or simply just clicking on the layer that I want and seeing what that imagery looks like on the map. Now, once I'm happy with my slide list, and of course it's important to work through chronologically so that your temporal map slideshow works through chronologically as well. But once I'm happy with my slide list, I'm going to click on options, and I want to select set some auto advance rules. So I'm going to click on the drop down, and I want my temporal map to slide through each of these layers after 5 seconds. And you can experiment with this. If you're not happy with 3 and you want to later change it, you can come back in and change this anytime you want. So I'm going to go with 5 seconds. There is no legend worth showing, but if you had some extra data on your map, you can select that extra data in your slide so that it appears on certain slides. But you might also want a legend being visible. I'm going to hit save to lock my presentation changes in. And then once I've done that, I'm simply going to hit play. And we'll open our presentation in a new in a new tab. It might take a moment to load because there is a bit of data, but you can see that it's going to go through my map and changes every 5 seconds. So we've got 2015 data here. It swaps to 2016 and so forth. And I can pause that at any time. I can also jump between slides if I want to have a closer look. And the reason that I've set it at 5 seconds, you can see that as the slides load, I'll shut this for a second. As the slides load, it does take a moment for the historical imagery to come across the top. So giving yourself an extra little bit of time for that to happen just helps your audience take in what's actually changed, identify changes and patterns and whatnot. Now, if I wanted to take it a step further, I can actually take this temporal map, this temporal presentation, and embed it in a story map. And all I need to do is click on the URL and copy it, open up a new story. In this case, I'll just start one from scratch. You might be working on one that you'd like to include this in, or you might have your students include this in one of their projects. And you just hit the plus button, find the embed option, and copy that URL in. And now we've embedded a presentation into our story map. So I'm going to quickly just make it a little bit bigger so we can go with medium or large. Maybe go with the large. And in order for my audience to actually engage with it, they just need to click once, and they can actually do exactly what we were doing before. They can pause the presentation, they can access the different slides. Otherwise, it will just auto play through, and every 5 seconds it's changing. So in a matter of 3 or 4 really quite easy to follow steps, we've created a temporal map that can be used especially in land cover change and land use change assessment tasks or classroom activities. Really good for field work as well over time. I hope that you found this helpful, and feel free to reach out to me if you had any other questions. Thanks, guys.